Hello, welcome back to the Wild Rift Origin Series Championship. We're not D-Man and X-Scoundrel.
I think I'm not a demon.
I wish you were
And
D-Man.
X-Scoundrel either.
You know, it's Viper and Carmeline. We're going to be taking you through the 5 last games of the day. And Carmen, we've got a massive one to start. Group B. Everyone coming in, talking all this nonsense about Group B being not as strong.
Right.
What's Unicorns of Love saying about that?
I always believed in Unicorns of Love and NAVI, but they didn't believe me. I mean, you didn't believe me.
Right, don't be throwing this in my face. I have always backed Group B.
Yes.
I'll go on record. NAVI as well. 0-2 right now. They need to be picking up wins sooner rather than later. Team Queso, sadly for you, also in the same situation.
I'm neutral, okay? I don't favor anyone.
Well,
I mean, I like unicorns, but like, it's a side thing.
I mean, two very good teams. Obviously, to get this far, they had to be really amazing. But for NAVI, win here is crucial. For Unicorns, they're battling out for first place. First place gets to choose their opposition going into tomorrow.
Ooh.
They want to be able to be picking and choosing who they take down in those semi-finals. And we're going into picks and bans straight away, Carmen. Anything that you really want to see? Anything you're desperate to come out in these picks?
Ah, just not the same as we've seen in all the games, you know, Renekton and Koki. Who wants to see that? I don't.
I mean, I like those champions. Nami, we're not going to see. She's been taken off the table. Great game last game.
The one champion that they did want to see, and she's taken out. And Six as well.
Yeah.
What's the problem with Six? I mean, I know he's quite...
Flexibility.
Yes, and powerful.
With Varus and Ashe both being off the table, we expected maybe to see a little bit more focus on this bot lane, or the dragon lane, as we should call it. Otherwise, D-Man will shout at us in the green room. They're not really being focused as much as we thought. Olaf also taken off the table. We know how strong this guy can be in the mid-game.
Yes.
Don't want to be giving over that Olaf plus Enchanter kind of mid-game fighting situation. And it's also Senna being removed, flexibility in the bot lane once again.
Yeah, Senna and Lulibot together being left outside the game, and Senna I think is also a good replacement for those teams that prefer to play with, you know, a different composition in the bot lane. Kind of want to go Senna fast in here,
True.
But it's not going to be the case because she's not going to be able to play it, and neither is Rakan.
Supports, they're being ruined.
Yes.
Bullied. 5 out of 6 of these bans are support. Don't play Olaf support at home.
Oh, no,
Do not
no,
recommend
please.
that for your ranked games. But loads of power's been left open. You mentioned the Corki, the Renekton, these strong picks. The Darius we've been seeing a little bit today as well could be coming out.
It could and it should, because to be honest, he's one of the best top laners we've seen lately. But him being powerful doesn't mean that the team has got that advantage. It doesn't always happen. Look at last game, like that's...
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you've got players who don't know how to play these specific champions in the meta, and it's just a bad time if you're being forced into something you're a little bit less comfortable on. We're just waiting to see what will be first pick, what will be prioritized. Bot lane as well, Kai'Sa, Ezreal, still available, and that's kind of a lot of what we've been seeing today, a lot of what these teams putting priority on, just because Varus, of course, isn't available. One of the stronger picks down there. Ashe as well gives that utility.
Why?
I mean, it is what it is, but I want to see Renekton, you know. I'm enjoying this style of it. Did you see the Renekton last game?
I did see it.
It was terrifying.
I mean, it was so terrifying they ended up with an O in scoreboard for Team Queso. So we hope that doesn't happen again to any other team. We want to see some action, some even games, if you may.
Yeah, we want to see the teams coming in, fighting, having even competitive games. I mean, the game that we saw Team Queso versus Unicorns of Love earlier today,
oh gosh,
that was maybe the best game we've seen so far, just because of how closely packed those two teams were. Unicorns of Love against Rix as well was very, very entertaining. Maybe Unicorns of Love are just an entertaining team. Maybe that's what it is. We still haven't got any picks coming through. I'm a little bit concerned by this, but there we go. Xin Zhao, first one in.
Okay, this is one was to be kind of expected. Xin Zhao really matter right now, especially, I mean, you can play him in jungle, but there are many other positions where you could also use a Xin Zhao. I've even seen him support Xin Zhao.
Nah, don't do that.
I mean,
it could happen.
It could happen.
But I'd be surprised. Top lane, maybe. Baron lane, maybe.
Okay.
Jungle, probably. Galio and Camille, more flexibility. Galio, we've seen it mid. Support potentially as well. And Camille could go into that jungle, but more likely up in that Baron lane. Maybe against the Xin Zhao.
I'm really liking it so far. We've got the Camille there with hookshot, being able to jump off walls, jump onto the enemy, and you've got Galio there, which is gonna allow you to beat that to protect your team in case you need it with the hero's entrance, for example. So we'll see what exactly do they decide to do with these champions. But so far, so good. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, it's great so far. There he is, the crocodile. My sweet boy has joined us on the Rift.
Can I walk out of this?
I know you're wireless right now, but please do not leave. I don't want to solo cast. No one wants to be solo casting this. but I like the Galio Camille. You've got the Hextech ultimatum to hold everyone in place. Heroic entrance in, everyone goes up in the air, but then Renekton just kills everyone anyway. He's doing so well today, such a strong pickup, and every region seems to be enjoying playing him right now. He's so safe to blind pick. He does loads of work in the early to mid stages. And realistically, we're not getting super long games. The games we've had today have been pretty quick.
I mean, considering it's Wild Rift, you expect the game is to go for about 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But true, today's games have been shorter than that even, which is surprising considering the level that these players and teams have altogether.
Absolutely. And I mean, the Lucian coming through as well, another champion that can do lots of work early game. Could be going mid, could be going
the
bot.
Culling.
The culling could just come through and just deal so much damage in those teamfight situations. But they've got a decent amount of pick as well. With Xin Zhao, Renekton, Lucian potentially being their top side, because Lucian could go into that mid lane, could be going down into the Dragon lane as well. We'll have to wait and see. Ooh, you know what? I'm going to stop talking.
I like
Carmen,
it. Okay.
Sona.
I'm going to talk about Sona. She's one of my favorite champions. Okay, so Sona, a squishy champion. This is one of her main problems, also mana problems, so she's going to need items to regenerate that quickly. Oh my god, I love this. Okay, Navi, I officially love you. Seraphine has been chosen. Sona and Seraphine, two champions together. Okay, people have been comparing them, having saying these two champions are the same. Are they the same? No, there are a few differences, but I prefer to explain that to you while we are in-game, because there is another pick on the Rift.
All my homies hate Seraphine. That's all I'm saying. Orianna being locked in, though. Probably going to go into that mid lane. That's where Europe likes to play.
Yeah.
Southeast Asia likes to play it in the Dragon lane.
But this is not Europe per se. This is
this
the
is Europe.
region.
This is yes, actually. I don't think they're going to be picking up the Orianna.
You don't think so?
Okay, well, we're just hearing as well. Darius has been locked in for Navi. Fresh is the final pickup coming through from Unicorns of Love. So that is what that blank spot is. We just had a little error with the graphics. But two compositions we've got. It will be Lucian Fresh down in that bot side.
Okay.
Which is nice aggressive if you want to go for it.
Culling and box together. Throw the box in there, throw the Culling, enemies disappear.
I mean, I don't think it's as impressive as we've got with the other combination, but let's find out as we move straight onto the Rift for our 6th game of the day. Unicorns of Love taking on Navi. Unicorns of Love coming through hot. 2-0 at the moment. Navi cold streaking right now, 0-2. They're going to have to turn their fortunes around sooner rather than later. Carmen, setting up maybe for some early action here.
I'm really interested in this. They went right through the blue, so I thought they were going to stop there. Look at Grizzly Q as well, a little bit of, mixing in the, let's say if something happens, but some action happened already in mid lane. We've got two mid laners right here. We've got the Dawn with Galio being accompanied by Camille, and a little team fight perhaps approaching. They seem to want to steal the right path.
The junglers are hanging around pretty close to each other. Valhalla not going to stick around too much though, so Unicorns of Love going to be able to secure that buff and get away with it scot-free, it looks like. And actually, with Phantom coming in alongside Coldstar, Valhalla needs to be quick. Will be playing it quite safe though and gets away from that one. But honestly, in the mid lane, might not be so lucky. The Dawn's gone for the engage. ZachQ forced to back away, and it's actually, you know what?
Yes.
It's duo mid. They've gone. There's another lane swap going on, and this time it's Unicorns of Love who have pulled the trigger.
Never wiser words have been said. Pulled the trigger there with Lucian.
Exactly.
In the mid lane.
Xin Zhao going in, trying to catch up to Darius. Valhalla being forced to back away. Going to be taking a lot of damage here, but should be okay. Actually stunned up, taken low, and removed. First blood goes over to Coldstar.
First blood for Unicorns of Love, something you didn't want happening because they take the lead and they just run with it for the hills, taking the wins here and there, taking the towers, melting them, in fact. So very dubious start here for Navy, but we still have got hope for them because I was talking before about the Seraphine Sona.
Yeah, absolutely.
Double team.
Oh, another fight with Valhalla. Has not been having a good time at this tournament so far. He's getting bullied to all hell. And it's a second kill going over to the Unicorns, and it's hard to see, but Unicorns, they want to be snowballing through this top lane.
Yes. And I think the problem here is if you look at Navi's conversation, who is the damage dealer? You have a double support bot lane. You've got perhaps Camille, but Galio is more tanky than powerful when it comes to that. And Valhalla with Darius might be the only one being able to deal damage, as it looks like it's going to happen right now, as the entirety of Navy is attacking that bot lane, but they're going to have to retreat.
I mean, it's absolutely a case of there's so much utility on this Navi side, but if they're falling behind, they're not going to be able to take these big team fights. Because UOL have team fight tools themselves. You look at Orianna, you look at Fresh, you look at Lucian being able to call through multiple members. If they get ahead, they're probably better at making these quick picks on the side as well. and their team fighting is pretty stable. That's a nice death sentence coming on through, and this is a double squishy bot lane, but Vex is coming on through, trying to save the two singers. That's with the Cullen, but he's going to go very, very low. There's the heroic entrance, but they've already lost a member, and Na'Vi trying to turn this one around. It's a 1-for-0, but they did burn quite a few resources for it.
This one was pretty much uninteresting, I have to say here. I was hoping that this combo, the Bucks and the Cullen, will work well together in EOL's favor, but instead, Sack and Grizzly were not able to escape, and that ended up with that one kill going to NAVI. Here we go, the replay where I can talk more in depth about it. You see Seraphine and Sona just turning around there because they're obviously being taunted by Thresh, but there you go. Vex with Camille arrives just in time, jams onto Lucian and gets the kill.
Absolutely, and it was so close for it being, because Unicorns of Love probably win that 2v2 with the hook coming on through, but Vex might have been caught out here a little bit aggressive, and is going to need to be careful. Knocked up, taken out. Unicorns of Love pick up another pick on that top side. Valhalla not interested in being anywhere near members of the opposing team.
Also, talking about interesting, in 15 seconds, now 11 seconds, we'll have the first objective spawning, which is another interesting point to make, because they all seem to be heading towards the Herald. Throw the first tower in top lane, then you have all the amplitude that you want to have to go for that objective. Now, it seems like they are gonna fight here for this one. We'll see who wins, but I'm guessing Unicorns of Love has the upper hand, even though they are a little bit low. For example, Cold Star in Fury, so that might be bad for him in the longer run. So now, keeping themselves apart from each other, trying to get to the objective before the enemy does.
I mean, Dominus is down, so the Renekton is not going to be able to Hulk out, and we've got lots coming through, but it will be Unicorns of Love who start up this Rift Hell. Na'Vi have so many members. Vex, remember, can get over the wall with that cable shot, and it looks like they're just going to go for the Rift Scuttle in the end, so the smaller objective will be able to secure it, give themselves a little bit of advantage around this objective. Ooh. But Rift Herald just going to be resetting Unicorns of Love. No one wants to play around the Dragon right now. It's all about taking this Rift Herald, getting that advantage in terms of taking down towers. But it looks like Na'Vi have done enough just to dissuade Unicorns a little bit.
I mean, it's an Ocean Dragon. Na'Vi doesn't really need it. They've got Seraphine and so on the team. Like, what else go you want?
The sustain is there.
Yeah. So in this case, it was obviously the better thing to go for this Rift Herald right there. And for now, no one has been able to take it, as you said, the smaller objective, but now we're going to fight.
Yeah, Phaeton needs to be a little bit careful, though. The secure comes through. The damage is massive, and they're going to be able to CC as much as they want. Phaeton will be able to get away this time around, but Na'Vi have driven into the back line, and the one goes down as the Dawn is left upriver. Will be able to secure a kill, but will be cut down. Lucian is firing through this team fight. Hydra and Dante, they can sustain, but they can't contest, as it's going to be the Rift Herald. But it looks like Unicorns of Love aren't confident to start it either. Rift Herald, the big winner here, still alive.
I mean, the last survivor, isn't he? And the Ocean Drake, who in the end is sitting just there in his
He's just chilling.
Like,
he's a spectator. He's having a great time.
You don't want me? It's not a big deal, but a big deal. Talking about it, first tower, top lane, going for Unicorns of Love. Here's a replay right there. Bets and Dante being caught right next to the Rift Herald. Hydra not being able to do that much. Is nail laned. Not doing much either. Phaeton being the lowest in health. They are going to be caught in there, but Cold Star is a Renekton. He manages to escape without bigger issues. And finally here, the Galio, the last victim, 3 members down for NAVI. A difficult situation for them.
I mean, we saw, though, in that fight, the kind of starts what could be. There was a lot of great CC. You had the ultimatum coming through. You had Sona and Seraphine both hitting ultimates onto multiple members. If they can get a fight slightly better than that, if they can take a second earlier or catch 1 fewer member of Unicorns of Love, that could be big. That could be 4 members killed easy.
And you can do that with 2 things. I mean, you can use Seraphine's and Core, or you can use Sona's ultimate. So you will have plenty of tools to do this, but they weren't able to do it. Also, the lasting effect of those ultimates is not as long as you retain all the other members from the enemy team together.
It's all about how well they can layer it and how well they can catch members out. Because right now, as you said, in a 5v5, Unicorns of Love probably feeling a little bit better. They've got themselves a 4,500 gold lead at the 7-minute mark, which is not massive in Wild Rift, but it is pretty decent. Na'Vi, though, on the top side, they were the ones who managed to pick up this Rift Herald in the end, and they're going to use it to break down an inner tower here. They're making inroads in the top side of the map.
I mean, at least they're being able to do something. Once again, as we said, in Wild Rift, this is not such a big difference, but I've got faith in NAVI, even though I think the bot lane, top lane tower, pretty close to Nexus, while the entirety of Unicorns of Love is having to retreat back to base just in case. Just a bit right there, as well as NAVI, both of them choosing to go back, buy a few items, you know, just getting close to the 8 minutes in, and you know what happens at 10.
Absolutely. But for me, this could be huge. NAVI, Darius and Camille, they have split push threats. And I know split pushing is harder in Wild Rift, but they've got champions that could go and look towards that top side, maybe try and sneak something, forcing UOL into one of these fighting situations. It'll be interesting to see if that's what they want to go for, but the top lane does have the opportunity, and now they're going for the engage. That's a really nice taunt coming through. The culling on the back, but Zaxu is hitting no one, and the first kill of the fight goes over to NAVI. They're chasing forward, but Vex isn't interested in continuing this one. It's a nice pick, but nothing more.
Ooh, but
on the side, Coalstar's coming through, Dominus, the damage coming out, Vex will be able to survive, but it's not looking good for the Don, he is going to fall, and just like that, the Unicorns of Love, with a nice rotation from the top laner, will be able to push forward towards this mid tower. There's definitely coming on down, but Valhalla isn't the target you want to pick, they're going to be able to walk away.
Well, I mean, at least they got a kill right there with the Dawn in Galio. The Xin Sao also went down, at least they got time to buy a few bits, but analyzing this team that we just saw, we saw the both teams kind of being even. I mean, even though NAVI doesn't have a real damage dealer, a really strong one, Vex with Camilla Thane with Hexakill to mate him is really managing to do that damage that they might be missing, as well as Valhalla with the Darius, even though he's been shut down quite a few times already. They still keep trying again and again, and look at the goal difference, okay, 5k, but towers, objectives, not so much.
It's objectives that win games, though. D-Man was saying it in the first few games, where it's a case of, the team fights might not be going the way, but they can get a pick. That was actually a pretty pitched fight, and it was NAVI who came out on top. Yes, when the top laners rotated, Valhalla was slower, which is why Renekton was able to help his team pick up a kill, and we're going to jump in just to a little pause, so we're going to see, hopefully, what's going to be going on there. But, Carmen, lots of action to break down. We've had two teams that are taking each other all the way. Unicorns of Love definitely favored right now.
Yes.
But we've seen what NAVI can do with this team composition in these fights. Can you see a world where they can get the perfect fight and try kind of bring themselves back into this game in a real way, in a gold sense?
I'm a little bit worried about them because of the bot lane once again. The scaling is good, but it's Seraphine and Sona. They're really squishy. Okay, they have healing, both of them. And going into team fights, actually, it could be really good for them with the surround sound, with the area, with the Sonata, but the problem is it is not enough to counter the composition that Unicorns of Love has brought to today's game. I mean, to today's games in general, because they've been playing really, really well.
Yeah, true.
Granted by the 2 victories that they've gotten so far, but I think it's missing something, this composition. I will have like something different in the mid lane, for example. Camille is walking, Darius is struggling a little bit because he's been focused. As for Unicorns of Love, I feel like they've been figuring out their game plan having a much easier time. Yeah,
it's much easier for them to see this is how we win, this is the team fights that we're going for, we can make the picks because they have those tools. And as you said, there's not really that much damage coming through from NAVI. The fights haven't been looking terrible, we should say that. And I mean, there's a world where Seraphine doesn't do terrible damage. Sona does some decent damage as well. We're going to have a look at a couple of these highlights while we get this pause hopefully resolved pretty quickly. But as you can see, this is the fight that it looks so good in terms of layering those ultimates down, but it's still Unicorns of Love who really come out on top.
Yeah, and you can see here Vex with the Hector ultimatum going down instantly. Like essentially couldn't do much in the, and the Rift Herald, if I'm not mistaken, after this one was still alive. So it was a team fight for a team fight.
But this looks much better. This is kind of the other side of it. We're going to be going back to the game very, very shortly. And in fact, we're going to go right now. Let's get back into this game. But for Unicorns of Love, they can't win every single team fight. They can't just walk in and win it. They have to be playing it smart, looking for flanks. Renekton and Xin Zhao, 2 very good champions to do that. Even the Lucian is not terrible to get on a flank if they can do so. So there's lots of different avenues for them to go into fights. But if NAVI can force it straight down the mouth, 5 champions, get those ultimate down, they were in a great shot.
It'll be done for them. Whoa, I shouldn't be laughing because the Byron National has this spot, and look at this!
Vex is getting that nice ultimate going through. Let's see the layering once again. Massive charm going through from Seraphine. Navi's still alive, but members of Unicorn Love, they haven't got the pick yet, and the fight is going long. Killing spree coming in for Coalstar as they're ripping out the fight. Navi, they got everything they wanted, but it just wasn't enough. They lose 3 members. Unicorns of Love don't lose anyone. You can use your fancy ultimates. We love to see all of the graphics coming through, but they don't achieve anything.
I mean, Valhalla still had his ultimate, but he wasn't able to do anything. Your Darius, his other option was getting right into the middle of a team fight, but look at this, because they are pinned from the corner, might try to steal Baron, might try to stop this fight, this objective.
Oh. Valhalla's going in. This is a really brave attempt, but nothing's going on. They're going to be able to get one, but then they fall. The teleport coming through on the side, though. Dante's here, Hydra's here. Can they get anything coming through? Can they steal it? The Baron going so low, but it's going to be secured by the Unicorns of Love. Coalstar doesn't want to give up the buff, though, and will back away. Grizzly Q's already dead, but the rest of Unicorns of Love will get out with the buff.
Okay, now it was the time for the move buffs to move a speed there, to chase a little bit, but of course, UOL Kings quite prepared there, and they can escape without much trouble. But now they are in a little bit of trouble indeed, because the first tower there in the mid lane is going to be thrown by NAVI in a really good move. I mean, they stop the Baron, and at the same time they manage to take the tower and chase the enemies when they are low on health. So you put yourself in a really good position, because instead of just trying to catch them, you just go for the next thing, you know? The way easier thing.
The problem I'm seeing here is that every time Navi's going for the fight, they're doing the fight correctly,
but they're not
getting anything from it. They don't have the damage built into this composition. They're playing in the composition that they built correctly, but I'm not convinced by it at all. And for Unicorns of Love, they are doing everything pretty much correctly as well, but they've just got much more coherent win conditions when it comes to fighting, because yeah, you can stun up Renekton and Xin Zhao for a couple of seconds, but then they're diving and murdering Sona, they're murdering Seraphine. And the damage, Vex is not able to get anywhere near team fights. It's the ultimatum, but it's only for him.
Yeah, and once he throws it, there is no going back.
Oh, John, what can you know, he's a little bit too slow. The collar comes out, that's a nice deficit to come through. Have they called onto the Galio? Yes, that's a huge ultimate into the backline, but Vex is there, and he's still fighting. Grizzly Q needs to be careful, there's no one on the flank this time around. Look, Renekton's not even there, it's a 4v5. Both teams stay alive, but Coalstar going to get some damage on this top tower.
The teams stay alive, but Dawn has to retreat. Very low life, almost killed right there. Ultimate available, but then again, how are you going to use it? If the ultimate will allow you to get into the move, Coalstar.
He's fine, don't worry about it. He's just going to be able to slice the dice away. Teleport coming through to the mid lane, though. Unicorns of Love want to create some pressure on this mid lane tower. Going to be able to destroy it, in fact, and will probably look to back away here. This Renekton is causing such a threat on the top side, though, and Navi, how are they going to contest this? They've got the Darius and the Camille, but can either of them take down Renekton? Look, they're sending the Galio up to clear.
I mean, that's the only person that you can actually send to do something, right? You're not going to send one of these people alone just to get killed. They cannot even wave clear properly.
Well, that's the threat. I mean, Galio's going to be able to come in heroic entrance, which is why he was probably in the side lane. However, I think Coalstar just eats him if they get in a 1v1. So Galio needs to be super careful. Things have quietened down a little. We've got a little bit of time to breathe. 14 minutes coming up. So there's going to be a couple more objectives to scrap over. But what can Navi do in this situation? Because the game seems to be running away from them. 10k gold lead. They're losing tempo a little bit. And Unicorns of Love setting up to maybe make the next play.
Well, looking at this here, one important part of this potential comeback is the itemization. And I'm not liking what I'm seeing. I'm seeing Galio and Seraphine both building really going for a mage composition there with Road of Ages rather than Luden's Echo. So not that helpful at all for the team. Camille going with the triples, it's okay. Black Clover for Darius is to be expected. But again, AP damage is not going to do much in front of the enemy
They need
team.
the damage.
They do need it.
They need to find it somewhere.
But look at the itemization for Unicorns of Love.
The problem is that they need to find the damage somewhere, so they're having to create all of these damage items on champions who, can do it. Like, Galio and Seraphine are no slouches when it comes to endgame damage. We'll be able to see it on graphics. The problem being, it's not Ahri, right? It's not a kind of champion that is designed to do this. The bot lane of Seraphine, this isn't Vayne. This isn't someone like the Kaiser Ezreal, and the fight is going to be kicked off. Nice steps as come through. The heroic entrance will land, though, and this looks okay for Navi initially, as they'll be able to catch Sneeland. He goes golden, and will be able to get away with the Lantern. Once again, Unicorns Love don't lose any members. Renekton, he's not interested. He's playing PvE in the bot side, and is going to be able to take down an inhibitor star. Re-engage coming through. That's a really nice play. They're going to be able to pick up one. The Dom comes on through. Phaeton is deleted as Zaku will return to the fight. Renekton is taking out Camille on the side, but Navi are losing everything. They get the slow, which might get Hydra out, but it won't, because Orianna cuts him down. Renekton has come through on the collapse. It's a rampage for the Crocodile. Vex goes down. Inhibitor tower goes down. Navi goes down.
And Unicorns of Love goes up, literally, because they are on the bot lane trying to defeat this. Few minions are alive, trying to open that lane. Oh,
that's brave.
Risky.
I don't know, Zacu's on the next one. They might be going for the end. Coalstar has used the dominance. It's a 2v1 under this objective. Vex has to dive away, can't use that one for engage. Teleport coming on through. Members of NAVI will be able to respawn with Valhalla, the Dawn, they're up, and they're going to be able to keep their team alive. The Mountain Dragon is here, though, and Unicorns of Love. There's going to be no contest over who gets this one.
No, but there is something interesting noticing right now. Look at the minions in the bottom tower there, and the Nexus for Unicorns of Love. NAVI is throwing the tower down.
Oh, the Dawn is in a lot of trouble, though. Gets the nice taunt through. Can the members of the team turn up? Yes, they can. And here comes the damage. It's a choke. It's a perfect fight for NAVI. But Unicorns Love, they're going to lose one right now, and they're going to be chased away. But it's a 1-for-0 trade for NAVI. They'll take what they can get.
I think this is the first tactic ultimatum that has actually worked as a teamfight opener.
Although Phaeton actually going to be cut down as well. He's taken pretty low. Will be able to survive a second longer. Will revive because of the itemization, but I don't think he's going anywhere. There's the Lantern. He gets away. Zinzao, Grizzly Q, take a bow. That's the second time he's done that this game.
Dark Passage is working amazingly. In this case, for Grizzly Q, just doing so well with this Thresh. I'm really liking it so far. And now NAVI getting some more chances to recover. Look again at the bottom tower. They've got an opening right there. The waves of Unicorns of Love are not that properly pushed. Both of them are stuck in the middle. Step toward top one, and we're going to see a replay of this game, of this teamfight. Dawn gets caught right in there. Phaeton gets charmed by Seraphine, and they're able to escape without any further issues, except for here. He gets caught, and he goes down.
Gets cut down,
pretty
really, isn't it?
straightforward. The Guardian Angel helps him there.
Unicorns Love, you're good, but you're not fighting in choke point against all of these massive teamfight ultimates. Good. Yeah. You can't be making these kind of plays. And a lot of the success they've had is not losing 4v5 and letting Coldstar chill around wherever he wants, grabbing objectives. They've got 2 minions in the bot lane right now. They can look to create pressure there. But this 4-stack unit of everyone else in Unicorns Love, except for Coldstar, just need to survive. They just need to cause a threat, and hanging around Baron is the perfect way of doing that. Because again, I don't think Valhalla wins this 1v1.
Well, we're going to see it right now.
Engage on the 4v4. The Dawn's going to be caught out by the hook, but will be able to get away. Vex in the back line is turning onto the team. Phaeton has to flash away, but the damage coming through. It's Vex who's now the target, but will be able to get down. Hydra flash over the wall. Survives for a second. That's a huge heroic entrance, but it's only going to save 2 members because 2 are already gone. Renekton now with the dominance is looking to crash into base, but it's a 3v1, and the Crocodile is big, but is he that big? He's got mates now. He's called in the squad, and Unicorns of Love will be looking. That's a really nice pick coming through, but Valhalla does get away. Unicorns of Love, they're pressuring for the end, but they can't find it just yet.
They cannot, and the waves again are not in the proper position to avoid being hit by the Nexus. So once again, they're gonna have to wait a little bit, but it might be right now. They want to keep on fighting and want the game to end.
They want to force this one. Hydra and the Dawn are still dead, and Valhalla will join them as Vex dives on through. Won't be able to survive too much longer with that health bar. Will he be able to get back to Fountain in time? The heal from Dante means the answer is yes, but that's a second inhibitor tower going down. Unicorns of Love, 4 members can move towards an objective.
And the super minions, in this case, gonna be super useful. Super minions, super useful. Right there. And look at this little teamfight coming.
I know, this is a really... Again, it looks okay for NAVI. The abilities are coming in fine. And the Dawn, the hero of this fight for NAVI, manages to get a massive 4-person knockup on the dash from Zacu as well. But all it achieves is 2 members getting away. It saves the team, but for how long?
For not so long. It wasn't that good, honestly. Watching it once again, whoa.
No, this could be the fight. Can Coldstar do anything? The Crocodile is here, and he's ready to bite down, but NAVI survive this one. Galio has to clear out the bomb wave, though. Has the heroic entrance. Valhalla has to recall. Unicorns of Love, though. Not going to go for the Baron just yet. They've got a low Orianna. They're looking for the avenue to end this game, but they're being a little bit tentative. They haven't pushed through just yet.
They haven't been able to do it, but I've got... You know what? I trust NAVI.
Trust NAVI?
Yes.
Why?
That's been said.
Why do you trust them?
I mean, because I think 20 minutes of game, that says a lot about them.
14,000 gold lead.
20 minutes of game.
18-7.
20 minutes of game.
I mean, it's a long one here in
20
Wild
minutes
Rift.
of game.
And again, we asked for this. We said, Carmen, that we wanted a game where the 2 teams give it their all. And there's clearly a team that has been playing better this game. You can't contest me on that.
Not this winter.
Okay, you can be wrong about that, but they're giving it all they've got and they're not bending over and they're not dying, right? They're not crumbling. They're ready to just take this game fight by fight. And again, the fights have been okay, but they just haven't been delivering because the lack of damage is there.
Yeah, and once again, look at the itemization, ready to do all the damage as possible. Sona has been going in.
There's a fight coming on through. Faden wants to get the fight going, and the damage is huge. They managed to catch out onto the Camille. Going to dive onto Faden, but he's still alive, and it's going to be Na'Vi. They're trying to do everything they can to stay alive. The sustain is really good. They've got Stoner and everything, but in goes the damage coming on through as members are falling left, right, and center. Na'Vi lose 2, UOL lose 1 right now, but they're looking for the cleanup. Vex on the backline. Can he get the kill? No, he can't. Yes, he can. As Unicorns of Love have 4 members, it's only Dante to defend. I don't think he's going to be able to do it, and just like that, Unicorns of Love remain undefeated.
What a game.
What a game.
I mean, yeah, that was kind of biblical, and I think a lot of it from the outside, that like a lot of that was to do with what was happening in the Baron lane. Because Valhalla, I think he spent the first couple of minutes of that game just getting absolutely bullied in the Baron lane. And I think I was just talking with D-Man off stage, like, you looked at the gold difference, line item-wise, between Valhalla and Coldstar. It's about 7k just between them. Coldstar was a literal raid boss at the end there.
Yeah, it was. Oh, this is what we've seen. We've seen this on Valhalla already in the lane swap game. It was just a case of Darius being like, oh, I don't get to play Wild Rift. And it continued into this game because he was just getting bullied the entire time. And sometimes you just have to shut it down because the composition wasn't built to have a real big damage threat. So if you can keep the Darius from going into that 1v5 mode, it was easy as that, and we saw it time and time again in these team fights.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see UOL actually keep to their 4-man deathball style. They just left. I'm going to keep talking about Coldstar, by the way, if you haven't realized. Coldstar just playing the solo lane, right? You talk about the 7k gold difference. Who's going to keep him in check? You can't send Valhalla to do it. So oftentimes you see the 5v4 being taken across the field. No one's winning the fight still. It's all very stagnant. You leave Coldstar to push the lanes, take the inhibitor turret, you get 2 of those down, you're like, cool, we'll just group as 5. What are you going to do now? You've got Cloud Infernal Drake up, Cloud Elder Drake up, and you got Baron up as well. 2 major objectives that ultimately warrant a fight. I honestly... I agree with what you were saying. The fact that Na'Vi stuck in there for 20 minutes against all that is actually credit to them. But, and a part of me thinks as well, the writing was on the wall a bit once that second inhib fell down.
I feel so tempted to sing writings on the wall. But in my opinion, again, as you've said it yourself, like getting the game to be so long just shows you how they would have been capable of doing so if it weren't for a few team fights here and there that they almost won, as Will said several times throughout the game. Team fight going well for them, not being able to close it or get anything from it at all, which turns out yes, results in 7k gold ahead from Unicorns of Love. But I still have hope for Navy.
I also want to go back to the draft quickly as well. Because Coldstar, basically at the start, no, it's not about his place, not about his place, I swear. Coldstar was saying that they wanted to make Seraphine and Sona work a lot. It was quite ballsy from Na'Vi to be able to just pull that away from them and go, we're going to try the Seraphine Sona. As you can see, didn't work out to great effect. I think I spotted in that final team fight there was a bit of a missed encore, but I know D-Man is busy working away at the Weatherman station, and I want to see what he's got for us. Let me take it over there.
Thank you very much. Yes, I really want to talk about what I felt was kind of the, I wouldn't say turning point, because it was kind of already going Unicorns of Love's way, but I want to talk about the point where Na'Vi kind of misjudged is probably the best way I can call it. So I'm going to start this off, just quickly get into the situation. So this was early game, as you can see, 10 minutes in. So now Vex is coming in, so he's like, yes, gotcha. But the problem is he's gone on Phaeton. So at the time, Dragon had just gone down, it's coming up in 20 seconds. So then the Rift Herald was also coming up. So they were like, okay, right, let's get on it. So they immediately compiling in. And the problem is that they've gone for the jungler. And I'll show you why that's the problem. Because you can see right here, okay, get that challenge in there, the ultimatum, Hexac ultimatum, not going anywhere. Vex is thinking, right, we're going lockdown, in comes the rest of Na'Vi. Got a bit of catching up to do, but that's fine. That's fine. But this is the problem, right? You got Sneeland here. They're saying, all right, I will put the ball on you and go defensive. So immediately big shield there. Then you've also got Grizzly Q that will say, all right, here's the lantern. And absolutely, completely covered him. NAVI threw the kitchen sink at him and could not do anything. Bear in mind, this was pretty close. This was pretty close at this time, only 4,000 gold differential. But as you can see, when I let it run through, immediately, there's no threat. Look at the health bars. It's still very much close. They come through, thank you very much, take the lantern, and now here comes trouble. Here comes Coldstar. Coldstar at this point was already a beast. As you can see, he got a level ahead already onto Valhalla, and he was a monster in the making. Throughout the whole game, he just dominated. The irony is, as we see him go through, they win the fight, they come out on top, and then sure enough, as soon as he gets in there. And the big part for me was this, is throughout all the team fights we saw, it was basically 4v5. The second Coldstar turned up, game over. And that's exactly how it worked out. Fantastic stuff, Unicorns Aloft 3-0.
Well, thanks so much, D-Man. It's an absolutely amazing performance from them. As he said, Unicorns of Love sitting in first place right now, I imagine, with that 3-0 scoreline. I'm pretty sure we got the rankings we can pull up and just confirm that all. UOL sitting on top right now. I did not expect 5 matches in to see a Group B team in that #1 spot. They've really surprised us today.
I wouldn't expect it either, but the thing that worries me the most is that we've got 2 teams that could potentially end last today, and neither of them are going to play until next game where they're going to face each other. Not next game, but next after next.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually.
Yes.
We've still got loads of games to go here.
I'm worried, okay?
Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We've got games to go. Take our time. We're here all day. We're going to jump into our next game, though. We're looking towards Game Lord versus Rix GG. Now, for me, the Group A is going to become like potentially a bit of a rock, paper, scissors because if the results come fast. If Rix find a way to beat Game Lord now, then Group A is just one beats the other in a circle, triangle, shapes.
2, 3, paper, scissors.
I'm a bit late, but we'll work on that. We'll work on that.
You can't just be like,
I'm going to go for
simple as.
Hey, it's one of those things. But Will, when we're looking towards this next series,
Yes.
Rix, obviously shaky start, but they found it again. Game Lord's still going strong. Are we going to see both teams at their peak here in this clash?
I mean, realistically, when we were looking at this game on the outset of the day, I was like, is this one that hype? But it's absolutely turned into it, right? Because Rix, they have turned up. Now, you said they were going to be angry when they came off that loss. They were angry and they played exceptionally well. Game Lord have just been playing really, really clean Wild Rift this entire tournament so far today. So now it's just a case of have Rix, is the anger continuing? Are they going to be able to carry that momentum through? Or is Game Lord just coming into this one, maybe on this patch, maybe in LAN? Maybe they're just the LAN team, you know?
Who knows? Mr. Clean versus the Incredible Hulk seems to be the setting we've got here after the break. We've got Rix GG going up against Game Lord.